All right, we're going to get started. It is 5 after, and I want to be respectful to everyone else's time here. Just so that everyone on Zoom knows, we do have some people here in Northfield as well. So if someone asks a question, I will do my best of repeating that question so everyone on Zoom can also hear it. It just makes it a little easier for anyone dial in to know what we're talking about, okay? This class is actually going to be very general in a first approach. We're going to talk about what do we know about smart plans? What should we be using smart plans for? We'll then go through the basics of smart plans, of how to add someone, how to take someone off. And then we'll talk about creating some custom smart plans. Since the last time we've done a smart plans class, KWRI has opened up the smart plan library to add a ton of new smart plans that other agents have used. We'll talk about how to identify which smart plans might be the best for you based off of how many people are using them or based off of the results that they're getting and the feedback they're receiving, okay? So my first question, and those of you that are on the smart, are on Zoom, I'm sorry. Yeah, I know I'm smart, right? We're talking about smart plans, thinking about Zoom. It's just all getting kind of combined together here. How many people are currently using smart plans? So if you're on Zoom, give me the option of the thumbs up that you can use on the Zoom. Obviously here in class, just raise your hand if you've used smart plan at least once. Let's go there. One time. If you use a smart plan, give me a thumbs up at least once. So I got everyone in here used it at least once. Who do we got on Zoom? I got Mark that's used it once. No one else online's used it? All right, well, I guess you're at the right place today. Kathy gave me wants it. Maria's just learning. Perfect. All right, well, we got a little bit of everything. All right. So the first thing I'm going to do is actually not teach you smart plans, but I'm going to teach you where to go for support on smart plans, okay? So I'm going to copy and paste this in the chat. For those of you in the class, it's just https://answers/KW, and you just choose smart plans. What KWRI has done with command is they have really elevated it to a way to pull training anywhere you need to pull it from. However, there's so much information, sometimes you don't know where to pull it from. So the best thing to learn from smart plans is just going to the answers at KW. And what this does, I just want to show you here, is if you don't know how to add a smart plan and you forget what we talk about today, this link will take you right there of how do I add a smart plan. It'll be a step-by-step. Some of them also have videos, some of them have diagrams, but this is for anything in command. This one is specifically for smart plans. And I can't emphasize enough, if you're like, well, I don't know smart plans, save this as a favorite because it will be your lifesaver. This is how I've learned smart plans. I've gone through this through trial and error of figuring out how do I do a smart plan? How do I create a smart plan? How do I add triggers? How do I do this and that? This is exactly where I pulled the information from. And this is a good reference because sometimes, guess what? I forget. I'm like, all right, how did I do that? And I get stuck. This is where I go, okay? Everyone learns differently, and there's always two or three different ways to learn from these just by clicking on what it is you need to learn about it. Simple enough? It's a little cheat sheet, okay? So again, I'll just show you. You click on one because we're going to be talking about custom smart plans today. It'll give you a little verbiage when text messages will go out. So if you decide to sign up for Twilio, it'll go over a video for you. And again, step by step by step, if you wanted something specific in a smart plan, okay? So that's a little bit of nugget that I like to share, but what is a smart plan? In your own words. You can type it in if you're on Zoom. In class, feel free to shout it out, but what are smart plans? What are they for? Following up, okay. Anything else? Anyone on Zoom want to chat in? You got a chat here?
Marketing.
Marketing, following up. It's a way to stay in touch. Okay, anyone else?
Touches.
Touches with who?
Client base.
Client base, okay.
New agents.
Yep, new agents. To organize your plan, absolutely. So the smart plans really, and I hate to say it's so broad, but it can be anything for you to follow up on, okay? Yes, clients specifically. Yes, when you are nurturing new clients. Yes, when you're doing marketing. Organization of your own plan. You know, I was speaking to an agent the other day, and he was a newer agent, and he said, I have so much going on, I don't know how to stay organized. So why don't you make an under contract smart plan for yourself? Well, as soon as a property goes under contract, put them on a smart plan that's under contract. They might be only specific tasks for you to go do, but that way you don't miss a task. That way you don't miss an inspection. You don't miss a follow-up. They can be anything that you need them to be for your business, okay? So let's go through them, all right? Let's talk about where they're at in command. Let's talk about what's active and go from there. So in our command dashboard, I'll go back to home so you see where we're at. We'll start from 1. Obviously, you sign in, command's going to have your dashboard. I want everyone to click on smart plans. If you click on smart plans and your screen is blank, that means we have not activated any smart plans for your business, okay? So people are like, well, I have smart plans in my library. Yes, great. You do have a ton of smart plans in your library. However, you have to add them to your smart plans. They're there for you to shop, and then you got to add them to your smart plans, okay? So let's go to the library. Like I stated before, KWRI had the first couple of smart plans that came out, and you can tell which ones they are. It says Keller Williams is the author, okay? So the first 8, if I'm not mistaken, were from KWRI. But now smart plans have been opened up to anyone sharing a smart plan that's been successful to post it into the library and to let other agents use it, okay? You can search whatever topic you want to search for when it comes to smart plans. So someone shout me a topic or something that you need help follow up on. Let's see if there's a smart plan around it. That's okay. No one? How about leads? We're just going to do leads, okay? Let's see what happens. Again, when we stream live, when we're in command, it's very slow, so just give it patience. Okay. So I typed in leads. There are 138 different smart plans I can pull from, okay? I'm not going to tell you to pull all 138. You need to pull the ones that work for your business, okay? So for instance, Facebook, okay? New Facebook buyer leads. It is written by Aaron Hoover. I have no idea who that is. But I can tell 231 agents are using it. Why? Because 231 agents have actually downloaded it. I only have 1 review. You can use that. You can see if it works for you. It's completely up to you. 231 agents, 1 review might work for you, okay? Let's see what else we have. Let's shop a little bit. A lot of 1 reviews. Let's go to the person I like. And you don't have to use this person. I just like what he does. Oh, it would help if I could spell his name right. So you can also search by people's names. So I like Nick Baldwin and what he does from his lead generation and his follow-up. And I found Nick Baldwin just following command on Facebook. He used to be a regional tech trainer. He has stepped away from that role now, and he's developed Lab Coat Agents. If you've ever seen Lab Coat Agents, he's the founder of that. So I really like what he does from a follow-up standpoint and what he does from a technology standpoint. So I'm going to use one of Nick's follow-ups here. And I'm just going to open one. So I can see 371 agents are using this. 2 of them have given them 5 stars. I can see that it's a total of 21 steps. So this isn't, it is Nick's, it's his original. There's 23 durations and 12 touches. It's also free. I can see what it looks like. All right, so I see that it's a send a text message, it's a delay, it's a send an email, it's a delay. That's great. That just kind of lays out what this is going to do for us. Okay, you can hover over it, you can read, you can see what it reads. Some of you might hover over it and say, oh, well, that doesn't work for me, but I like the format. That's usually what I do. I steal shamelessly. If you've been to any of my classes, you've heard this before. So I will download it. I simply clicked on it, download. And now it's in my library. And I'm going to get out of here and go back to my library. So here's my Nick Baldwin's Facebook lead smart plan. Let's open it. Let's actually see what it says. Oh, come on. So far easy. Shop for what you like, download it, and then you go in and brand it toward yourself. Okay. Nothing too hard yet, right? And like I said, when you're in, I'm just talking as this thing spins. When you're in the actual shopping area for smart plans, just search what you're looking for. If you think of the first thing, hey, you know what? I need listings. Search for listings. See what smart plans come up for listings. Hey, I need help staying organized when I'm under contract. Search under contract. See what comes up. It's completely up to you. Okay. All right. So here's the detailed version of that smart plan that we just downloaded. The nice thing about this is if this wasn't downloadable, you'd have to do all this. But now I don't have to. Okay. Someone's already created it. They shared it. Now I'm probably just going to edit it towards the way I want to do it. Okay. So it says, hi, contact first name. So what that means, when you see anything in parentheses and highlighted in that teal color, it's going to say your contact's name. So whatever your contact is, if it's Mickey Mouse, it's going to say, hi, Mickey Mouse. Okay. If it's Minnie Mouse, it's going to say, hi, Minnie Mouse. You don't have to type their name. It's going to pull it automatically from your contact information or your lead, whatever you decide to assign someone a smart plan. Does this make sense so far? Okay. It says, thanks for taking a look at the homes I put on Facebook. This is Sam Jackson. This is why you have to edit. Am I Sam Jackson? Are you Sam Jackson? No, you got to put your name, right? So change it. If you want to be Samuel Jackson, I mean, the voice would be cool if you could have that integrated, but I don't know if we can. But what's your name? Again, it would help if I could even spell my own name today. Okay, it says, I realize you might be ready to start the move just yet, but there are questions you might have or neighborhoods you'd like information on. So that I could email is contact email. So the contact email that you've received, either through the contact or the lead generator that you pulled, it's going to pull that email for you. You do not need to type it out. Okay. Is this the best place that contact email? So this email is the best place for you. Oh, this makes no sense to me. So this is a good thing why we also read things to make sure they make sense. Okay. They might not be perfect. People probably download and make them their own, but this is the first text that is going out that I have. And if you don't have Twilio, then this would have to be a manual text. If you have Twilio and you have integrated into command, this will automatically go out on your behalf. Make sense?
And you have to pay for Twilio, right?
It's $3.19 a month. So $3.19 a month, you get a package. It's like an Easy Pass in a way. You get a package, but when you need a bigger package of saying, hey, you've gone over your limit for a Twilio account, you want to upgrade, I think the next upgrade is $6. So it's not extremely expensive.
Yeah.
Texts are like on the pennies. It doesn't even cost a full penny to send a text.
Nice.
Okay. So when you download Twilio, just so that if you haven't, when Twilio first came out, we all were coming from a Texas phone number because obviously Keller Williams' home office is based in Texas. Now you can download a number close to your number, but it won't be your own phone number. It's not integrated that way. Can you remove the text? Yes, you can delete anything from the text in the screen if you want to. You can make it a one simple line if you want to. Just like this last line that makes no sense. I'm getting rid of it. Because it doesn't make sense how it's verbiaged for me.
Okay,
Do you see what I mean?
yeah.
So you can delete it, you can add things, whatever you want to do, you can pretty much fix right here. Yes, if you don't want to text people, let's say, you know what, I don't want to text someone, I don't want this to be my first step. Delete. I don't want to do the texting. So you don't text. Okay, it's gone. All right. So let's pretend though I still had the text there. My next step would have been wait a day. All right. And I can see that because it's set a delay. It's waiting a full day. Okay. So after the full day it's waited, an email is going to go out. See where I can say that it's an email. All right. It's going to reply to, you put your email address if it's not there, subject. It could be thank you, it could be anything. I think the catchier the subject, the better. I had one email today that was about MAPS coaching that made me open it, and it's the headline that makes you open it. I'll be honest with you, I probably don't open a lot of my MAPS coaching because they're all the same, but this one had something that caught my attention. I'm like, oh, I need to open that. Who's this from? Don't be just thanks for clicking on my link. You've got to be a little more creative. A little more creative that you're thinking of that makes you open the text or an email. Think of the same way the consumer is, okay? Just so that they open it, okay? And again, this is what we call a simple email. This is pre-programmed. We're programming it here. It's going to be the same thing for every single person, except the only thing that's going to change is the person's name and the phone number in this one. And I can see that. Hi, contact information. All right, well, I know they're going to change that name. So I can ascribe 100 people to this, and it's going to be 100 different names that go there because it's based off of the contact card. Does that make sense? Okay, and again, you're going to want to read through these if you're downloading any of them, because Sam Jackson, again, is here, and I'm not from Georgia. So I'd have to make sure it's branded to me, okay? And I just want to show you some different options in here if you wanted to add another one that pulls people's information. This little merge field here, if you drop this, anything you see here will automatically pull from the person's contact information. Okay, so if you're on a team and you don't want to constantly type the team, you say, thanks, this is Sam Jackson from such and such team name. It's going to add there. If you want your app link added every single time, you drop it in here. It's going to add there every single time for you. Okay, so these are fields that are automatically be there that'll pull information over for you. So you have, the less work you have to do, the better. Okay, I've said this a few times. Command, I think a lot of people think command was built so that you're doing all your business in front of a computer. It's actually the opposite. Command was built so you have less computer and more interaction with people. Because if you have the system set up to where it's automatically doing communication for you, it's automatically reminding you to do tasks. You don't have to constantly sign in and do ABCD. I'm getting reminded to do ABCD. It's sending out communication on my behalf. It's reminding me that I have due dates. That's the whole point of command. That's the big goal. So if you ever get frustrated in command, I want you to think through, if you're frustrated with command, you're focused on the wrong thing in command right now. I want you to step away, close it, because command was built to make your life easier and step away from the computer. Okay. Do you invest time in front time? Yes, that's what we're doing now. We're investing our time so that we don't have to sit in front of the computer and type. Can you imagine if you have to type to 100 people the same email? You could copy and paste it, but why copy and paste it if you have, right, just copying and pasting it. Yep. Then you got BCC it and it looks weird going to someone. This looks like it's going directly to them from you. Okay. Now, I don't know what the chat was, so let's check that. Mahela, these are downloaded from when you're in Smart Plans in the actual Smart Plan. I forget what it's called already. These are the Smart Plans I downloaded. They're right at the top on the right. If you have nothing in your Smart Plan library, go over to the library and start shopping. That's what it's there for.
All right, thank you.
Yep. Where was I going with this? I don't know. Okay. So the next
The
one in
first
this
time you
Smart,
could shop for free.
what was that?
the first time you can shop for free.
I know, yeah, well, and actually, no, that's a great point, because we're realtors, we're always trying to make a buck. Let's be honest. These are free for now. I can see them having a cost in the future. So I'm not telling you to go out and download all 20,000 that are in there. But what I am telling you to do, know where your business is today, know what smart plans you need, and go download the ones that you need in your business today. Okay. Before they start charging us. All right. Do I think they're going to charge us in next year? I have no idea. I'm not the man behind the curtain. I'm just the man that's not afraid to play around with the things to see what it's doing. Okay. Yes.
So I started off because I haven't made any commission yet. So I started off with one paid Facebook. I only got, I think, like 7 leads from it, and like some of those numbers were just disconnected numbers. But I know their email has to be good, right? Because it's from their Facebook. Would it be worth getting the Twilio and setting up a smart plan now?
I do.
Manageable.
It is. And so the question was, we had, I don't know if you guys heard the question, but we had someone ask, we had a Facebook ad that went out. We got about 7 leads that came from it, some bad phone numbers, but some good emails. So would it be good to have the Twilio accounts? It would, because when they respond to the Twilio accounts, it's going to show up in the contact screen. That's one thing no one's asked yet, but usually that's the question I get. Where do you get the text message back from the actual Twilio account? It is actually in command. You'll get notification, you got a message. And one thing that I do, just so that you know, when I do a Twilio account, anything that I already have preloaded here, like this one, right? Send SMS text, hey again, blah, blah, blah. I always end with my name. This is Ron with Keller Williams. I'm texting from a computer. My direct number is this number. Yep, because the number you're texting from is not the number from your phone. So I always kind of do the verbiage. Hey, the number I'm texting from right now is from my computer. If you need to get in contact with me directly, here's my best number. It just gives them that, again, you're not a robot, even though it is a robot that's kind of helping us, right? It's that personal touch. It's that personal aspect of saying, how do I get in contact with you? Because if they're replying to Twilio, yes, you'll get it, but it won't be instantaneous if you get it from your phone. So yes, I would say try it.
Yeah.
Okay. Some of them you will get smart aleck remarks. So be prepared. Just be prepared. That's just how it is, right? But it's something that will help you along the way. Okay. Any other questions? Again, I'm just going through this one. We're going to go through detail. We're going to actually create one. I'm just showing you how detailed this is. Okay.
Text my personal number or my business number?
Whatever you want. My direct number.
Yeah.
So the whole point of this, if anyone knows internet leads, if you think of a funnel, where are they at in the funnel?
They're at the top, right?
They're not even in the funnel.
Yeah, they're like,
They're at the top. They're ready. Like if you think of a funnel and how a funnel goes down smaller and smaller, internet leads are really at the top of the funnel. And the only way to stay in thought of mind and top of mind is to constantly follow up so that they know you're the agent of choice. You're the agent of knowledge. You're the agent that is constantly following up with them, sending them information. If they don't want the information, they can unsubscribe. Okay, they'll unsubscribe, no big deal. Okay, they'll do it. All right. If they are constantly reading the information, and you'll see it, it's funny. There's some people I don't hear from at all.
The 11th.
Try, they won't respond. But when I go on their contact card, I can see that they're viewing my neighborhood snap. I can see that they're viewing properties. So I know they're using the information that I'm sending them. It's just they're not ready yet. So I'll just continue to communicate and try and get a hold of them. That's all I do. It's the best that we can do. It's better than doing that than me trying to think of, all right, I got to contact Sally Sue because I haven't heard from her in 20 months and I don't remember the last time I talked to her. I'm going to call her out of the blue and say, how are you doing? Some people will be like, I look like a fool. Well, this is kind of your backup to that, right? Hey, Sally, I know we haven't chatted in a little bit. I've sent you a few things along the way. Right. Absolutely. You put them on the long nurture. You put them on the biweekly, the monthly, the 8x8, whatever you want to do in your business, you do it. I can't tell you to use this or that smart plan because everyone in this room and everyone on Zoom has a different business model. it works for your business model. Okay. And I guarantee you there is some sort of smart plan out there that someone's already created that they've shared. And that's the one thing I love about KW is we all share our success with each other. So everyone is successful. That they're sharing with you, hey, this has worked for me, so I want it to work for you. Make sense? Okay. So this one is pretty long. It's 23 days with 20 steps with 11 touches. So let's talk about what that means. This smart plan is 23 days long. There are a total of 20 steps in the smart plan. Okay, so 20 different steps in here, but I touch the lead 11 different times.
Half of them are like delays.
Correct. Some of there's delays in there, right? You think about that every other day. You think of the delays, and there's no golden number on delays. You know, hey, from the first time I send them a text or an email, what should my next one be? Well, you decide that. You decide to see what that looks like. These are always good to start with. All right, it's worked for them, so maybe I'm not going to touch the delays. Maybe I'm just going to go in here and change the verbiage up. And you can see this text. I didn't hear back from you. Okay, that might get my attention in an email too. I didn't hear back from you. Or, hey, you missed your free coffee. Like, wait, I had free coffee? It's Wawa, but that's on Tuesdays, right? But like, what's going on? I don't understand. You got to think through that aspect of what's going to catch their attention.
So if you like get their attention, then you would just stop them from because you're talking to them and then they get that text from you like, yeah, no.
Yeah, so that's a good point. So if this is a lead, and if this lead, a whole point of the lead is to nurture them, to make them a contact, if you think about that in command. Okay, so as soon as you nurtured them and they are actively looking, I probably would take them off the Facebook lead smart plan, but guess what? They're going on another smart plan. They're going on a smart plan now that I've nurtured to something that I can now say I'm in contact with you, that it's going to be a little more in depth. Yep. Correct. Yep. And some of these smart plans, and we'll see if this one is one of them, I'm not sure. Some of these smart plans end with adding them to another smart plan. Okay. And I do that a lot, especially with Facebook leads. I'll do a Facebook lead smart plan. And if I don't connect with them, I will then add them to a bi-weekly neighborhood market, just so they're constantly getting something from me. Okay. So it's just one of those things that once the smart plan's done, don't think it's done. What can you do with it? So let's scroll to the bottom here and see what we have. All right. So you can see that they end with this text messages. It says, hi, how is your week going? I had some availability, open my schedule, and wanted to check to see if you want to see the homes virtually. What time is best for you, mornings or afternoons? This has worked for them. Fantastic. I know in my Facebook leads, my last one is I will add them to a smart plan, and it's just simply as clicking it. There it is. And then it's going to allow you, oops, I double clicked. It's going to allow you to pick what smart plan you want them then to be added to. Okay. So if I wanted them to do, I don't know. Doesn't really matter. Landlord. Let's say they're my landlord. So I do summer rentals. So I have a summer rental landlord smart plan, and now I've created the summer rental tenant smart plan. So again, for your business, you got to do it for your business. If that's what I wanted to add them to, fantastic. I click my drop down and it's there. If you don't have anything in your drop down, some of you may not, that just means you haven't activated the smart plan or created one yet. Okay, so you have to create one. All right. So I'm going to talk about all these in the next little screen that we go into. But is there any questions of what we went over so far?
I do have at the top with the text message, it said message type static or dynamic.
Yep.
What is the difference?
So good question. I'm going to go both of those. I'll go over it. So if I go, so the question was, what's the difference between XMN and the dynamic? This is where add more text and cycle through the repeating the smart plan. This is where you can be a little more creative. Okay. So these are basic text, right? Nothing pretty, nothing nice. You can then send the actual picture messages out if you wanted to. You'd choose the dynamic for that. Same thing with the email. So if you look at the email option,
Yeah, I saw that.
So email, we have something that's called simple, and then we have something called designs. Okay. Simple is short, sweet, to the point. Notice there's no signature line for you, right? Because in a simple text, this is exactly how it's going to look like. If you wanted a pretty email, you would have already created this in designs. You would select it. And if you had one created, you would click on it. Okay. It would send, let's do this. I don't know.
So static and simple.
Basically, just different verbiage, right? So this would be the dynamic or the more enhanced email, and it'd be an HTML one right here. It'd be very branded. All this would be branded to you and everything else. They have found.
You made that?
No. I steal shamelessly. When are you going to learn that?
No, I'm just, I don't know.
Guess who made this? KWRI. This is loaded for you.
That's in there? If I
Yes,
select
this is
one?
loaded for you. You just have to make it your own. Okay. But I'm telling you now, the results of opens for simple are a lot higher than opens for these. These you have to just be cautious with. I would say you send these out when you're saying happy birthday or happy home anniversary, because it's more personal, it's colorful. If you're trying to get information out, people want to see a short, think about your phone. I don't want to have to click on it to read it. I just want to see the quick message. Okay. That's the rule of thumb I like to play with. If I can't read it in my message on my phone, guess what? I'm not opening it. I don't know if you're that type of person. I will read the email just like it pops up on the screen. And if I can't hit it in the first 3 words, guess what happens? It goes away till I have a minute.
The email sends a link to send them to this.
Sends, nope, it's in it. Yep, it is in there. So this email, when it's not loading right now because I'm streaming live. Does that make sense to everyone on Zoom, what I was saying? Demetrius asked, what's the difference between these? The simple emails are short, sweet, to the point. They have better open rates. The more detailed emails, which we just went through, we clicked on and went through it. You can make this nice. You can make it towards yours. Maybe you do the monthly newsletter on this, which I would recommend. But you don't want to do this in every single email because the chances of them opening it are going to be less and less. You want them to open it. You're probably saying, well, how do I find out if they open it? I'm going to show you. Oh, it's null. I don't know what he's saying. Okay. So, any other questions up to this point?
Okay, I didn't really understand the dynamic text.
Dynamic is if you want to send like a picture text. More steps involved. Okay. There's probably more fees in charge too for, I had to find that out from Twilio if there's more fees. I don't know.
I think it was by credits, so like pictures were like 3 credits.
Yeah, I think it's more to send out with a photo. All right, anyone on Zoom have questions so far of what we went over? Because we're going to go over a few more things here. All right. So I knew today we were going to go over Smart Plan. So I'm quickly going to open up this blank Smart Plan that I've created. Oh. Okay, so let's start from the beginning here. What I'm going to show you is how to create your own Smart Plan. If you need a Smart Plan that you feel you cannot find in the shop, you can create it yourself, okay? It's completely up to you, all right? It's as simple as clicking, dragging, and typing, okay? So training one, I'm just going to go through each task so you have an idea. Obviously, create a task is going to be exactly that, creating the task. This task that you create for any Smart Plan will show up on your command dashboard in the task dashboard. So it'll be that orange typing thing. You have task past due or you have task due. This is where it comes from, okay? So this is my point that I had a conversation with a newer agent the other day saying, hey, you're struggling with keeping in order with what happens when you go under contract. Why don't you create yourself a Smart Plan? As soon as someone goes under contract, day one task, I'm going to follow up with my clients and say what the next steps are. And guess what? So I don't have to remember each time what the next steps are. I'm going to add it right in here as a task description. So when I open this task, it's going to tell me follow up with client, with making sure that we have our inspections lined up, making sure that we are following up with our inspectors, whatever it might be within that task. We're going to create that and we're going to do step by step by step. Okay. Obviously, you're going to have to add these people to a smart plan, but the smart plan is really for you. So anytime your client goes under contract, I'm going to add them to this smart plan. And it's just going to constantly remind me what to do. Make sense? You like
Ron,
that idea? Yes.
don't forget too, this is also available in client updates
Hey there, hold on for me 1 sec.
to make the
is.
changes as well.
I had to take
It
myself
is.
off in the middle of a Zoom call.
Client updates is
I
like if
had
you
an
use your,
email this morning from
if
the agent.
they use your
and I
guides.
called
Someone's got to
her
mute
for
Kathy.
clarification, and I'm waiting for her to call me back. She sent me a text. She's in a
Okay.
webinar all day.
Kathy, you're not on
Anyway,
mute.
so the email says, before
I hear
committing
her, I
to a
don't hear you at all.
contract, could you discuss with your clients their time frame? Hold on 1 second. I'm sorry.
All right,
Thanks,
she's
Ron.
muted.
Thank you.
All right. So yeah, no, you can do this through clients, but they also have to download your app. So if they don't download your app, that's not going to help the client updates fully. Am I correct to say
Okay,
that?
I got you. Yes, you're correct.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure because that's how I read it last time, but there could have been an update as I haven't.
No,
been
no,
on-
you're 100% right. They need your app.
Yep. So that might be another class that we can talk about in February. But if you need something quick fix now, you create yourself a little smart plan for this. Okay. So that's create a task.
What was the plan update? I don't.
Don't worry about it. It's another class. Make a phone call is just a reminder for you to make the phone call with the person. Okay. Again, this is going to show up in your task list. So if you add yourself to say make a call, it's going to say call. You can add contact's name here by just picking up their name, and then you can add their phone number just by clicking what their phone number is. So call task, it's going to say call, if it lets me. And it's going to say Mickey Mouse at 1-800-Disney, whatever his number is. Okay. Simple as that. Save it. And email, we've kind of talked about this already. Simple emails work best. Okay. I always send a simple email though with my contact information at the end. Always trying to get your stuff out there. No, there's no way to load a photo or an updated signature line in a simple email format. Okay. There isn't anything that way. Okay. If you click on designs and send that fancy one, by all means, your information is going to be there nice and pretty. But for simple, short, sweet, to the point. Again, send SMS texts. This is if you have your Twilio account set up. If you don't have a Twilio account set up, you can still write out what you want the text message to say and send it out that way. Especially make sure you download an app that if you don't have a computer that's linked to your phone, make sure that you have one. Ricardo, do you have a question? Your hand's raised.
Yes, I'm sorry. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Thank you. I see that the KW email is on there. Would you suggest using your email that you kind of use on a regular basis, or would you keep it at the KW? And if you would change it, how do you do that? I'm sorry.
Yeah, good thing. So this is pulled off from my marketing profile. So if this is not the email you use, this would be in command through marketing profile, and you can change this to the email that you use automatically so that every time you go in here, it'll be updated. Hello, how are you?
Thank you very much, Ron.
No problem. And if you don't know where to go through it, it's actually now updated here where if I just click on settings, it's going to take me to where I can change my emails or my email name, and I can change it right there. So best way to do this is if you want to change it to the email that you're using and not the KW one, go through your marketing profile. If you don't want to change to the marketing profile, if you don't want to change it and you say it's too much, some of us have our KW email automatically forwarded to the email that we use. You do that too. It's completely how you want to do your business. But I hope that answered your question.
Yes, it did. Thank you very much.
Perfect.
Now, I see you're at that screen now. I don't want to be a pest, but could you quickly just show me how? Because I do have my Google account linked there, but the KW email is still showing.
Yep. So right here under marketing profile, under connect settings,
Okay.
I would go here and I would scroll down to my email right here.
Perfect.
And that's where I would change it.
I just doing a.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right. Delays are just what they're stating, delays. So anytime you have a task, you then set a delay. You don't want to, because what will happen if you don't, if I have everything here that says day one, all this is going out on day one right now, okay? I don't want that all to go out on day one. So I'm probably going to set a couple delays here, all right? So I might just pop it in and move it around to where I want it to go. My next thing, day one, will be 9-day delays. So here, and you notice, as soon as I put that up there for a 9-day delay on day one, look what happens day 10. It changes. I didn't change it, it automatically changed. Now I'm going to make a call. It's wherever you set the delay. If I change this to 5 days, day one, I'm going to create a task, and I'm creating a delay so that in 6 days, day number 6, it's going to remind me to make a phone call to them. Okay. Do you have a question?
Yeah, if you were doing like rentals for someone, would you make that create a task to send them what you already searched on Paragon? Send an email with that?
For rentals, probably, because rentals are, they're far and few and in between. So the task would probably be, you probably create a task that would be every 5 days is check the rental system to see if there's anything new out there for them. And it'd be a task more than an email for you. Once you then pull it, you email from the actual Paragon itself.
Okay.
But that's a good question. The question was, do you create the task and emails for rentals? And with rentals being the way they are, it's probably easier to create a task as a reminder to go look for the rental systems itself if you're helping someone look for rentals. If you like a smart plan that's short and sweet, like the biweekly neighborhood nurture, the restart the smart plan option, that will automatically restart. And if you want it to be unlimited, you just pick unlimited. If you want it to go, I don't know, 4 different times, it's going to cycle through 4 times, then it's going to end. But unlimited will be unlimited until someone unsubscribes from you, okay? And you'll see where, I'm going to show you where they're going to unsubscribe and everything else so that you can see that. And you can learn from that information of what you send out from people unsubscribing. Maybe I need to change my verbiage. Maybe I need to change my approach on what I'm doing. So don't just take it as, hey, they're unsubscribing to unsubscribing. Maybe you have a task every 2 weeks to look at your unsubscribes to see if there's something you can learn from the unsubscription so that you can move on and fix it going forward. Okay, there's always some sort of data there for us to review. It's just how you want to read it and interpret it. Okay. Questions so far? Online, in the class? Because I'm going to show you where you can pull your information on how well you're communicating. Ricardo, you raised your hand.
Yes, and maybe I missed this when I was trying to fix my email. But when you put the person's name in, how do you ensure that it's the contact's name?
So good question. So you actually subscribe your contact to the smart plan. So when it says contact's first name here, and I'll show you in a minute, I'll add someone to the smart plan. It's going to be the contact's name that you put in your contacts. Does that answer your question?
No, I mean when you had that blue, the blue highlighted, how do you get that? That's what I was asking.
Right here.
Okay.
All these drop downs, these are all optionals for you, what you can pull automatically from your contact card.
Got it. Got it.
All right.
Okay. Awesome. Thank you, Ron.
Yep. All right. We all have this, yes, the start changes. We all have this option called reports, okay? Come on, it'll load here in a minute. in reports, it's going to show you if you're on a team, it's going to look a little different. If you're an individual agent, it might look a little different than what I have up on my screen right now. Okay. So it looks like the little bar, it's reports. Okay. But I don't think, and I know I haven't done any smart plans for this month yet. It's early. Mine don't go out to the second week of January. So I'm going to show I don't have any for this month, which is okay. But here, it gives you an overview of everything that you're doing. Great. But let's actually look at the emails and the text messages. Email reports, I haven't sent anything out yet, but you can see if you don't know, you get 5,000 per month. Okay. If you go over the 5,000 per month, there are plans to buy more. All right. And that's through the marketplace. All right. Marketplace command email. What I'm talking about here, and mine haven't been updated yet because none, mine, like I said, mine usually go out the 9th. What's today? 7th? Okay. So in 2 days, I'll have probably some information here to see how well I'm doing. How many people click them? How many open them? Okay, click and open is different, right? Open is when you're sending those fancy emails and they're opening that attachment. How many replied? How many were undelivered? How many bad emails do I have? Then I might have to go into my contacts to see who I have because I don't want to keep sending emails out if it's a bad email account that's taking away from my 5,000 limit.
How would you find out which ones were bad?
You would then, unfortunately, I don't think it's linked yet if you clicked on undelivered, but you can go to the smart plan and see who you subscribe people to and see how they're responding. And it's going to tell you in the contact card, bad email, bad email, bad email.
But so this isn't the email report for one smart plan, this is the email report for
All of them.
every smart plan. Yeah.
Everything.
So that takes time to find.
One at a time.
Right.
Okay. How many unsubscribed and how many marked as spam? This is just a good way. So for those of you that are newer and haven't done smart plans, let me get everyone on a smart plan that I know of. Let's get feedback right away. Let's see how many people are opening it, how many people are clicking at it, how many are unsubscribing from it. If you have more unsubscribed than open, all right, why? You got to ask yourself
Hey,
why.
Ron.
Yes.
They should be looking over the people that reply as well. It comes up to your notifications, but at the same time, if somebody responds to an email and it comes to your command, you want to know about it.
Yeah, and that should go right through notifications. And if you're signed in the Kelly app, you should get notification too.
So same thing with the Twilio text,
You can't reply from it. Like you can't reply from Kelly there, but you get notification.
so it wouldn't go straight to my email,
Not a text.
but the email would.
Email does.
Okay.
Yeah, it did. I haven't seen anything change recently. But if not, you always get the notification so-and-so has replied to, and it goes right there. It shows you. Okay, it'll show you what they wrote. Okay. It goes to the contact card. So like when you're in the contacts, that far right-hand, I'll see if I have a recent one that I can show you to kind of go over with it itself. Same thing with text messages though. Like you can see from your Twilio what's being sent out and everything else. I have a 600 credit limit. I can update that if need be. And they're just different plans in Twilio.
Your credits rolled over.
I don't think I've ever gotten extra credits. I think this is what you get. If you use it, you use it. You don't, you don't. I've never seen them add more. Okay, same thing. You can see what's red. Not as much details here yet, and I don't know what the future of this looks like. Noel, have they shared anything on the tech calls about the reporting out for Twilio? Because I know there's been some updates and there's been a little bit of rerouting to get things fixed. Have they shared anything else?
No.
Okay, I didn't think so. Typically, they send out a mass communication when there's Twilio updates and what's coming with it because it's a third party. But I haven't seen anything recently. Okay, again, just another way to follow up on how your smart plans are being integrated and how they're actually being used. Okay, I'm going to see if I have a recent contact that replied to an email. Probably do somewhere, but it's going to take a little bit. Any other questions? We have about what, 5 minutes? Nothing?
I wanted to hear some of your good ideas. Good ideas.  'Em. 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 'Em.
I'll show you some if it lets me load it. I like shorter smart plans and longer smart plans. Just that's my way of doing things. I like the home anniversary one. So every quarter, I have a quarterly one that I'll send out to them, just checking in because I'm on the island. So I push the seasons. So every fall, hey, it's no longer summer. The beach has changed. What are the sunsets looking like now? As simple as that. I will take my first, I do a first summer photo every year of the first sunrise and sunset of summer. And that goes in my first email out to my buyers that are looking, hey, you're missing out on the sunrises and the sunsets. It goes out to remind them of getting them motivated to buy a little bit. Yeah, I do. That's something different I do here. Birthdays I'll do. Yeah, birthdays I'll do the text message out to saying happy birthday. I put an emoji in there just to have some fun. And I learned, and I forget the website and I have to get back into it. I learned how to set a task for myself to send a digital card instead of an email card. So I won't send an email saying happy birthday. I will send a digital card. I actually learned that from Kathy. I sent that, I forget the website I use, and I can't remember off the top of my head. But I will send a digital card out saying happy birthday to them instead of just the regular email that says. So I won't use I use a smart plan as a task. Not Jackie Lawson. If someone said it, I would know it right away, but I forget what it is off the top of my head. Any other questions? Yeah. Bi-weekly. Okay, I can show you that real fast. So someone asked, what's the bi-weekly neighborhood snapshot? That's what you're asking, right? Okay. So let me show you real fast. Come on. Come on. I promise you all, it's not command that's slow. It's when we stream live.
Oh, it says credits received for 12 months.
I don't see mine roll over, but I also don't pay attention.
Oh.
All right, so this is what a biweekly neighborhood market looks like. This is initiated by adding your contacts to a neighborhood. Okay, so if you want to get your neighborhood snapshots, you have to have them added to a neighborhood. Okay.
So you pick the contact and then document.
Yep. And so I'll give you a great example of how this works for me. Let's say this person looked at one of my Facebook leads. Okay. I went through the whole concept of texting them, calling them, emailing. I didn't really get too much with them. But I know the person clicked on a house. I know where that house is located. So what do? I search for the neighborhoods around that house. So they're interested in the property, maybe not this neighborhood, but let me search for it. Let me add them to a couple of neighborhoods around it. I added them to a couple of neighborhoods around it. So just so you know, this is my father. So I know a little more about him, but I also know he's looking to move. But I realized I learned more about my dad because he was looking in different areas I didn't know about because he added different neighborhoods. So I learned something. They can add neighborhoods to themselves. They can, and that makes sense, right? They can add neighborhoods to themselves in these bi-weekly neighborhood snapshots. And it only helps you. So this is what they get every week. They'll get a message. Here's your bi-weekly neighborhood nurture snapshots. Click the link below and it's going to show them all the different houses that are for sale in that specific area every 2 weeks. And I've learned, and you see them learn, and it's funny. It's like you see where they're going, what they're looking for, because the whole point of this is making some sort of business relationship with them. And maybe they start searching completely down south. And I noticed that. I'm like, hey, I noticed that you're looking down south. Is there someone I can connect you with to help you with your search? Like my sister-in-law is moving now to Georgia. She put an offer in yesterday. So boom. We didn't know she was moving to Georgia until guess what I did? I started seeing her favorite things on my little app. I'm like, why is she favoriting things in Georgia? Like, what is going on? And she told us on Christmas that they sold their house, which they're somewhere in Pennsylvania. I'm not licensed yet, or I would have sold that one. And they're moving to Georgia out of the blue. So I got her with a KW agent down there. I got for a referral. Done.
So how did you, do you have your sister hooked up to this?
Yep.
Or you have your family all hooked up? to
Heck
this?
yes.
I know, I just.
Yeah, we all have different relationships with family.
Families are tough.
Family, and that's one thing, you know, it's family are like politics sometimes.
Families are tough.
But yeah, that's what that's how I did this, and this is what it looks like every week, every 2 weeks.
That's what it looks like.
Yep, to them. All right. And this has grown. Like I thought, I mean, my dad just kept adding more and more and more to different places where he wants to move that I never thought he would. So
So you could start with like 4 and then they add that.
heck yeah. They can keep adding as much as they want. You can start with 1 and then they can add. Okay. But you know, everyone says, well, how do I add them to, well, how do I know where to look? Process of elimination. They looked at a house, you have an address. Minimum, add them to that neighborhood. Minimum. Then surround yourself if you need to. Okay. Any other questions?
Hey, Ron,
Yes, sir.
again, they can add neighborhoods too, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, they can add their own neighborhoods and it'll update for them every 2 weeks.
You can't see what neighborhood they looked.
Yes, you can.
I mean,
You can see what neighborhood they add themselves to. Like, look, I see he unsubscribed from this one at one time and he subscribed himself to this.
and if they looked at something if they looked at a certain property, you can't see that until you go into their contact to see their history of what they did.
Yes.
So how would you know to check like everyone's contacts? Okay.
You won't. So you
Like,
some.
like, you know, if you have like 1 million people.
Yeah, so at one point, and Noel, I don't know, maybe you can answer this because it hasn't been doing it. At one point, when someone went into your app and they were attached to you and they liked a property, you got notification automatically that they liked the property. That has not been happening the last 2 months. So have they talked about that?
I do know it shows up on your actual contact, the houses they do like.
Yeah, does it show up in notifications?
The notification might be something you have to set up in the beginning for that particular client as well.
Yeah, because we used
I'll
to
look
get
I'll look
notification.
into that.
Yeah, we got notification on the Kelly app saying your clients liked, or they created a saved search. I know the state, if they create a search, you get notification on that still. I do not know if Noel will follow up for us on that one. He's
Yeah,
got
because
more.
If you have a bunch of people and you don't know what they're looking at, and you put them into neighborhoods that you're not.
That's part of maybe where your lead gen comes in. Maybe you have 15 minutes every day where it's, all right, today I'm going to go through A through D and just look at the contacts to see if there's any updates and space it out over a week and a half time frame. That's my best advice right now for you. There's no way, to your point, there's no way to do that every day. You can't go through every single contact. But if you break it up in smaller chunks, maybe you can.
So wait, Ron,
Yes.
one of these things that they're doing is also setting up who's where. So everyone's going to be at a different stage of buying.
That's what the guides and the new crap, I can't think of the word. I know as you're going, yes.
So that's part of PC that they're teaching them, that it's part of nurturing your clients, staging where they're at, so you know who to follow up with. I'll go over that in PC on Monday.
He's basically saying if you're in more contact with someone more often, you know they're further ahead than the person, the Joe Schmo you're not talking to. But sometimes the Joe Schmo comes out of nowhere and says, I'm ready. And that happens. That does happen. And we're even in business for all that happened. Like they're out of the blue. But they're out of the blue. Yeah, they're calling you because you have them on the smart plan where they're constantly remembering your name, your contact information. But if you're the person, which you are, that person that likes to be in control of the situation, you might. you might want to set up a reminder to go through the alpha last names A through D Monday, and then break it all the way through Friday. That's the only advice I can
could
give
put
you.
myself on a smart plan.
Correct. You can put
It's a
yourself on a
great
smart plan.
task.
It's a task. Goes to yourself.
Okay,
Okay.
it's a lot, yeah.
One at a time. Wherever your business is needed right now, that's where you start the smart plan. Yes, I would love to do A, B, C, and D, but what do I need to do right now? What's the one I need to do right now? Yep, just the one. Okay. Any questions from my Zoom participants before we disconnect? No? All right, well,
Thanks,
I
Ron. Great class.
thank you. I will be doing a KW app class at the end of the month, so please make sure you come back and we will have some fun with the KW app and some of the updates that they've had.